Hey, what's going on, y'all? So today I'm going to be pulling back the curtains and showing you guys the exact service delivery that I'm doing for my clients in order to scale them and get them automated booked appointments without having them to be trapped in the DMs or wasting a ton of time trying to build out some sales funnel that's not going to convert. So just to start off by giving you a basis of understanding of even what I'm doing here, I scale agencies and get them 30 qualified booked appointments within the next 45 days of working with me and my team, integrating a completely automated AI sales fulfillment system that we call the AI Scale Agents system. So what you're looking at here is just a quick look at my offer. I'm not going to spend too much time on it, but let's actually get into it. So with Scale Agents, what we're doing is we're not solving just one piece of the pie. In fact, we're solving the entire sales fulfillment process of generating leads, booking appointments, and then nurturing them to actually show up to the booked call to increase your show up rate, overall to increase your cash collected, right? And this is done on not just one channel, but we actually use an omni-channel system, meaning we're going after our leads from all different angles, all different messaging platforms, including email, we're dialing leads, we're using Instagram and Facebook, and then we're using messaging streams like SMS and WhatsApp to text our leads. It depends the use case. SMS is going to be better if you're within the country, but if you're an international company, then WhatsApp is really where that comes in as far as having the ability to hit as many people as possible. And now this is a look into exactly how we're able to generate our leads, push them over to a sales call, book them in, and then help increase show up rate as well by having some accountability and making sure that they're actually confirming their appointment. Now, I just want to note also that literally every build that I've ever done for a client has been customized and, different from the last. They're all unique. So this is kind of an example of how it goes, but every client has their own little nuances based on the target audience they're going after or how they need to interact with the lead based on the market. But nonetheless, the manual tasks that take place that are pretty universal are going to be publishing your ad campaign, posting organic content, and then plugging your lead list into the system. And then from there, you just kind of sit back. So it's nice because with all three of these streams, yes, it's a manual task, but it's really just button pushing and then sitting back and letting the AI take over. And then the last manual task that takes place is going to be a bottom of the funnel, actually joining your sales call and closing that person into a paying client. Or if the team already has a closer, then this isn't even manual for the founder itself, right? So what's happening is that when we're funneling our ad traffic and organic traffic, we're pushing them over to a landing page. And its whole purpose is data collection, getting their name, email, and phone number so we can initialize the AI Scale Agent system to go after them on our messaging channels and actually try to appointment set them, have a conversation with them, the whole 9 yards, right? And then with lead list, we've already got the information, so we don't need a data collect or anything, so we can immediately begin the appointment setting process. And then, for Instagram and Facebook use cases, we also do inbound DM triggers where we're conversing with leads and appointment setting them over the DMs, or we can even transition that over to SMS or email channel, assuming that we get the appointment setter to ask for additional contact information. Now, this is a very basic generalized idea of how the AI works, but AI will send out the initial message, prompt the conversation, and then the AI will start to qualify leads. If the lead ever stops responding to the AI, we have follow-up sequences set up on literally whatever timing convention you can think of. What I always tell clients when I'm doing an initial build is that, if you can think it, I can set it up, and it's awesome. It's just the power of automations. But things as far as like how you need the AI to communicate with the leads, what timing that needs to take place, if you want it to feel a lot more like a human, typically we'll set a bit of a time delay in between responses, so it seems like you actually took the time to type up a reply and send it back to them. And then even as far as follow-ups, we can set them on literally whatever timing convention you want or whatever overall frequency you want, all with the objective of booking a sales appointment for you. Now, assuming we do get a booked call, obviously we're going to assign that to a team member and then we're going to update our pipeline. I'm not going to get too much into pipelines, but we have an entirely automated sales pipeline system within Go High Level, which allows us to automatically manage our lead flow. We get KPI tracking that's live down to the second it's taking place because the AI is the one that's doing these updates, not a person clicking over and doing nodes, but it's completely managed by AI, which is awesome. And then assuming we are doing a sales funnel, after we actually book the call, we're going to push them over to a thank you page. And this is really specific for ads, but we'll set up a conversion API so that we're able to have an ad campaign that's optimizing for call bookings. So each time we do get a new qualified lead, we send that data back over to Meta and tell them like, hey, this is a perfect lead for us. They booked in a sales call. Go find more people like this. And over time, this really helps improve an ad campaign. Separately from that, also, if they do book a call, we're going to be sending appointment reminders via SMS and email. I'm not reinventing the wheel here. I'm not going to go into this too much, but, just basic appointment reminders. And then on top of appointment reminders, of course, we're also going to have the initial text over to the lead with their specific appointment that's taking place. And then even for post-booking, to help increase show-up rates, sometimes people have questions before they hop on a call. So the AI will be there to continue to reply and handle any questions and make sure that they're ready for the call. And another key factor when it comes to pre-calls with leads that have already booked in but they haven't showed up to the call yet is sending them over some sort of information. So with my AI, for example, it's going to be showing some of my YouTube so the lead can get warmed on a little bit more about who I am, what I do. So usually what we'll do is send pre-call videos or some sort of documentation that's related to the client's offer so that the leads that are hopping on sales calls with my clients are fully warmed and ready to be sold on the client's offer. Then, of course, we end to the finish line, joining the call, cash collected, everyone's happy. Now, this is a more basic structure of what we just saw, except it harps on more of the AI appointment setting side of things first. So top of funnel, like I said before, add traffic, organic traffic, and plugging in lead lists that you've web scraped from online, or if you have any pre-existing lead lists you want to reactivate, that's all going to fall under top of funnel, generating leads. We funnel all this traffic over to our AI appointment setting campaign, in which we're hitting them on all messaging platforms. So like what you're seeing here, just to open your mind for a second, is an example of how a conversation could take place. But like I said earlier, quite literally, if you can think it as far as what channels you want the AI to communicate on, how you want them to communicate, the timing it takes place, we can set all that up, customized. This is just kind of an example to show you some proof of concept. But what we have here is the AI setters reaching out via text. We're calling the lead as well, and we're sending them emails. And it's not like we're reiterating the same message on SMS as we are in email. What we have to do with these builds is we get very surgical. Like when I'm setting this up, I'm not just setting up some software and leaving them to the wolves. There's definitely a consulting side of this build that takes place in which I really have to understand their business model and what they're going for. And I work very closely with these clients to make sure that their needs are met and that we're conversating with the leads properly, right? So what I mean by that is our email channel will typically be more newsletter based, more oriented around warming the lead, being an initial touch point, whereas the SMS setter will be very conversational. We'll mask it as if it's a team member or if it's the founder themselves, and try to spark a conversation, answer any questions, and it just feels a lot more natural, right? And then for the dialer, it's definitely more direct. Usually a couple minutes is the maximum time length we'll get when we're conversing with the leads on a call. And the whole objective there, straightforward, get them to book a sales call ASAP. And then the dialer will fall hand in hand with the setter as far as like text back scenarios, or if they're talking with the setter on the phone number and they want to dial it up inbound. And so now we got an inbound lead calling us up. We can still have an AI ready for that and appointment set them onto a booked sales call as well. So it's really awesome. The whole idea here, funneling all these channels onto a booked sales call nonetheless. And then for bottom of funnel, actually closing the clients. So before they actually show up to the sales call, we have the AI verify and make sure that they're actually going to show up to the call. And if they don't, we can even threaten to cancel it or reschedule it. And see, this could be a empty promise, or we can literally set up an automation to cancel it. I say that because I've had a client before and he runs a brick and mortar business and he's often just too busy to hop on no-show sales calls. Super frustrating. And so we have a AI that reaches out, makes sure that the appointment is confirmed. And if they don't reply back to confirm their appointment, like a few hours out before the appointment, we send, be like, hey, we're about to cancel this. Like, this is your last chance. And if they still don't respond, then we straight up just cut it. So I know I've been talking fast, but this is kind of a look into exactly how we help deliver for our clients. See, we're not just building out some software and then calling it a day, but, we're helping build out their VSL. We're helping build out their actual sales funnels. Like I got a funnel builder on my team. We have media buyers on our teams. We're helping with ad campaigns as well. And this is really what you need in order to have a guarantee like 30 sales calls in 45 days, without it being an empty promise, because there's a ton more that goes on than just having an AI that's capable of selling. What I mean by that, what I often tell my clients is, I could set you up with the world's best AI appointment setter, but if you have no way to traffic leads over to the AI appointment setter or no way to get interest to initially invoke the AI to actually do its job, then it's relatively useless, right? And then conversely from that, you can have the best sales funnel, but if you don't have any appointment setting flow, then it's also going to flop. So with the AI scale agent system, we're solving the entire problem from A to B, top of funnel, middle of funnel, bottom of funnel. We're solving all of it. DWY means done with you. DFY means done for you. Done for you. Those are the things that we're doing, just for the clients. And then the awesome part about how we're setting these agencies up also is that they have 100% ownership to everything we build out for them. And we even give them resell rights so they can go and do this for their clients. Like if we're working with a marketing agency, they love to resell these. So, it's very mutualistic. We're not here to siphon money out of people's business or take a monthly fee either. This offers build and release. So one-time payment, they get all of this. So we're not being an absolute drain on their business and taking a monthly fee. That's often worked great as far as service delivery and keeping my clients happy. So just to show you guys a couple examples. So this is for one of my clients that had an Instagram AI appointment setter in which we were doing a DM message campaign. As you can see, we spent $1,300. We invoked over 600 leads, which is amazing. All of them conversing with AI. They all inbound DM to the trigger word. So the AI appointment setter reached out and started conversing with these leads. I took this screenshot here. So we closed his first sale off of $348 worth of ad spend, and he has a $2,800 offer. A little little over an 8x return on ad spend. Absolutely awesome. And you can read through. I'll zoom in. I'm not going to read through. I don't want to waste too much time on this video, but you guys can pause this. You can read through. Appointment setting flow. Everything you're seeing is exactly what he was looking for, as far as like he wanted these specific qualification questions answered, because he only wanted buying ready clients that were actually serious about his program. He didn't want any time wasters or tire kickers. So that's kind of how we went about that. Before even giving them the link to book in the call, we made sure that they were, fully prepared for it. And this is a look into his pipeline. So this was off of 8 days of launch. As you can see, we had booked him a little over $32,000 worth of potential revenue onto his calendar for him to close into paying clients, all using our automated AI system. Or for this client, as you can see, we had spent just a little over $600 at this mark, and we had already gotten him down to a $3 cost per message started, which is super cheap, super awesome to see. And we had his AI doing something very similar as far as qualifications are concerned. When we were at $170, we were already getting those really cheap cost per results, which is awesome to see. You can read through his appointment setting flow. It's really awesome because when you set these things up, it's as simple as my clients coming to me like, hey, can we tweak this question? Or, hey, I don't like how it's saying this. And I turn around and fix it for them. So I'll have a phase of stress testing myself where I'm conversing with the AI. Then I pitch it off to my clients. They have an opportunity for them and their team to converse with the AI, find out what they like and don't like, and then I set that up for them. And it's all in scope within the actual build phase. So that's really the beauty of this. You have to be surgical when you're building out AIs. I'm sure you've conversed with some crap chatbot or AI in the past, and it's like, wow, this thing is as dumb as a box of rocks. So we really try to take it a step further and have something that's fully understands the business model. Like if you look in the knowledge bases that we're writing up for these AIs in order to actually go out and execute this perfectly each time, they end up being like 10, 12 pages just of lengthy information to make sure that it's fully structured to do exactly what we need it to do. So with this client, he actually had a financial consulting offer in which we were running ads and pushing leads over to a masterclass, paid masterclass. And so if they join it, he also has an upsell. So, after they get some information on stock trading specifically, then he tries to upsell them into his like inner circle community where it's like a high ticket price. So this is just a look into his pipeline and how we were organizing things. And I'll show here in a second what credibility shown means. But basically for anyone that was skeptical, we were sending them over links of his P&L statements and screenshots of some of the results he's gotten stock trading himself to show that he walks the walk and, he's a legitimate source to actually show up to his masterclass. We were able to convert 32 leads onto his paid masterclass within only 2 days. And the crazy part is we only spent $200 USD to do this. All those leads put up money, and they're now, there's some sales psychology behind putting up money off the bat and then being more willing to buy into a high ticket offer, right? So that's really the benefit of what we were able to do for them. And as you can see here, let me just go through the conversation again. Slow for you guys, my bad. But yeah, you can see here, we propose like, hey, have you ever seen my returns? Like you can see here, we propose like, hey, have you ever seen my returns? And then yeah, send them over. And then we send over a link so they could see his P&L statements. And then we also send over some screenshots just to give some more validation behind the offer. But things like this just go so far when it comes to sales rapport with cold traffic specifically, and being able to get them to trust you a little more off the bat is often going to get you to convert more leads and make more sales than the next guy that's just trying to funnel traffic over to a general website and hope they book in a call without any touch points. And now this is an example of an email flow actually for my company. And as you can see, we were ping-ponging back and forth with the lead. So this first message got sent, and this was just a general drip. But the neat part about the AIs is that if a lead does ever respond to one of our general email drips, we have an AI that immediately jumps in and picks up the conversation and see, we got a new subject title based on the conversation that's taking place. And we're talking back and forth with the lead via an email chain, and then we booked him into a sales call. Now, it's funny because email chains are typically not going to book sales calls as much as like an SMS chain, but it's more so about having the readiness to be able to do so. Or often what I'll set up for clients if they have a newsletter, we'll set up a separate email appointment setter as far as how we're doing wording structure. So it'll text back like a structured paragraph, like in email format, over the information that they asked for, but also propose the call booking link. Because what we've seen is typically with emails, you'll get 1 or 2 replies with a lead before it'll drop, compared to like Instagram, Facebook, WhatsApp, or SMS, where you're going to be ping-ponging back and forth with the lead for quite a while before you can get them there. So we even ensure that our AI appointment setters on various platforms understand the typical conversation flow of that platform and really align with it, so we're able to get as many booked calls as possible. That's the whole objective here. That's the name of the game. And so this is a look into how we're actually going about delivering for our clients, the timeline. The first 2 weeks are the build phase, actually building everything out, making sure that they're set up. We've dialed in their offer so it's attractive to sell online. And then we're pushing them over to actually launching within the next 2 weeks after that, days 16 through 30. And this is where we're going to launch. We're going to launch ads. We're going to plug in lead list. If they got any organic content, we're going to start having conversations with leads in the DMs, or set up some CTA trigger words to DM us inbound or to comment on a post, in which we'll send them over a DM, all with the purpose of booking a sales call. And within this phase also, it's really a lot of optimization, in the sense that the first 2 weeks we did internal testing, but there's also such importance in having live testing to see what's going on, see any pitfalls that the AI may be having, or places where we need to strengthen conversation flow. And then from there, we really just work on revising conversation flow to increase the amount of people that are actually going to be replying back, right? Like, a big part of cold traffic is, setting up questions and setting up statements so that they really are good at invoking replies or invoking conversation, so it's not like a one-sided thing that's taking place where the AI is like doing all this talking, trying to sell, but then the person is just one sentence, two sentence replying back. We want to make sure that we're having a productive conversation with the lead. And then in days 31 through 45, this is when we're scaling. We've plugged a bunch of the holes with the AI as far as conversation is concerned. We've got a really strong sales fulfillment process as far as communicating with the leads, pushing them through our funnel, making sure we're getting opted in data, the whole 9 yards. And then, at this point, we can start adding more leads into the lead list. Or to give an example, for one of my clients, we were doing a cold email outreach campaign because he didn't have enough buying power for ads just yet, but I still wanted to get him a few clients so that we could, start entertaining ads. So what we did is we launched a cold email campaign. We tagged about a few hundred leads each week onto it. And the whole idea was to split test what subject line and what actual email copy was invoking the most replies. After 2 weeks of running this cold email campaign, we were able to decide, okay, well, this subject line works well and this body paragraph works well. We combined those two. Notice we're getting way more replies. And then we upped the overall lead volume we were doing and the web scraping we were doing to plug in 3,000 leads every single month onto his email campaign. And they don't blast off all at once. It drips through. If you know anything about email health, that's going to be huge when you're running cold email campaigns, to make sure that you're in good standing and your emails aren't landing in the spam folder. And from there, we were starting getting him booked appointments like hotcakes, and we had an entire stream set up. And on top of that, we now had buying power to start ads. So at this point, with the ad campaign, we were doing data collection for email and phone number, in which we were sending them through a more warm email campaign because they already inbound gave us their information. They already know a little bit more about this. So they were giving more warm email context, and the AI appointment setter was reaching out via SMS. And then for any lead that came from our cold email traffic campaign, they were either booking in right away, in which they were replying back. It's a big no-no to throw links in an initial email, so we're just replying back to leads, and then in the reply that the AI is sending is when we're dropping the link to the sales funnel to try to book them in. And then we're also data collecting phone number off that if we don't have that already, in which we invoke our SMS appointment setter. Especially with cold traffic, you have to stay compliant, and they're really strict with regulating how you're using your SMS for marketing efforts. So we make sure that we're compliant with all our clients, and we're only reaching out to leads when we're legally allowed to. Now, these are some frequently asked questions. I'm not going to read through these just because there's a ton of them, but if you want to pause them and kind of understand, some of the typical hesitations we'll get and how we've been able to overcome that. Like with a bunch of the clients that I started out with, they've had some of these questions, and I've been able to calm them by giving them more understanding about what we're doing here and about how we're actually able to make this possible. Because some people are like, all right, 30 sales calls, that's a pretty tall order. How are we actually going about that? And, I don't have some sort of black magic or secret spell, but it's just systems, automation, and it's a numbers game at the end of the day. If you can get it to scale as far as having thousands of conversations, which the AI is capable of, it can have thousands of conversations simultaneously. Then suddenly it doesn't seem so crazy to be able to, close several clients or book 30 sales calls, right? But yeah, guys, that's essentially how I do it. That's a quick rundown of how I'm currently scaling my clients and getting them booked sales calls. Now, if you're an agency owner and you're looking to get more booked sales calls and you think my service delivery can help buff yours, in which you can have full resell rights and actually be able to leverage the power of AI appointment setters and be able to leverage the full AI scale agent system that can completely completely offload the sales fulfillment process for you and your clients, then go ahead and book in a call with me down below. I'll leave my booking link. Again, I guarantee you 30 new sales calls in the next 45 days of working with me and my team, integrating our AI scale agent system. And for all the agency owners that are waiting on that bonus gift, so if you click the link down below also and give me your email, I will send you over a 7-day email course that goes over the exact AI systems. And it's not even like I'm just going over the general aspect. I provide applicable tutorials on how to actually go out and do it. See day one, why your ads aren't working yet. And I go over a whole checklist of everything you need to have done before you even can think about running ads. I go over offer building, how to position your offer so you can stand out and actually be able to sell it at scale and have more interest. Because the online marketplace is the Wild West. Let's be real. There's so many BS offers out there. So this really teaches you how you can actually stand out. Day 3, I go through funnel building. I'll teach you why your funnel's probably not converting and how to overcome that. Day 4, how to automate your sales process. I go over the AI appointment setting side of things. You actually get a full tutorial on how I build out AI appointment setters. Day 5, I'm running it back, talking about more AI agent stuff, how to get leads to actually pay you, how to turn cold prospects into buying ready clients. There's a whole art form to it. And then lastly, setting up a metapixel and conversions API. This one is a little more advanced, but if you can set this up, it's going to set you apart from the next guy that doesn't have a clue how to run ads or how to set up a metapixel to actually optimize for booked sales calls. This goes over that. So if you're a high ticket service provider or if you're an agency owner that has a high ticket offer, this is going to be huge for you, for your own service delivery or for your clients if you're a marketing agency specifically. Anyways, that's all for me. I appreciate everyone for watching. I hope you learned a thing or two, and I'll see y'all in the next video.